Karinna Nielsen is the lead facilitator for signature cell healing, and it's awakening the chromosomes of youth and vitality. Kahu Fred Sterling is the founder of this, and he has been your mentor for many years, and we've covered a lot of that. Would there be anything else you'd like to say before I get to my tough questions?
Oh, your tough questions. Oh my goodness. I need to take a breath.
Prana breathing.
Oh, wow. Let me just say that, yes, Kahu Fred Sterling, who many of you know, because he's been out doing workshops for a long time. And I was traveling with him to some of them, most of them, because I was his event manager and publisher for many years. He is the founder of Signature Cell Healing, and this is a very special healing modality. Now, there might be people listening that do Reiki or healing touch, and those are all touch healing modalities that people may be familiar with. Signature Cell Healing is not as well known, and it's a very special healing modality because Kahu Fred did a lot of interdimensional traveling. Now, if that's going too far out for some people, I'm sorry, but he did travel interdimensionally, right. And work with Master Guide Curiel, who's the 7th dimensional guidance guardian for our great shift, to put signature cell healing together for our great shift in consciousness. Now, for a number of years, there was the form of signature cell healing that we used was fine to get us through what we call first life or the 3rd dimension. But now, as we're shifting from the 3rd into the 4th dimension, and in the Lemurian Legacy book from Kahu, they talk about first life, common time, and transition. And those were the 3 periods of Lemurian evolution. So the Lemurians, the ancient Lemurians, 40 to 50,000 years ago, did this type of healing modalities like signature cell, and they used it to heal through their dimensional shifting processes. And here we are again, just like the Lemurians, coming back to experience a shift embodied. We don't have to die this time. There's no ice age coming or anything like that. And so we get to live embodied through this great shift in consciousness. And so we have signature cell healing to help us through that, because sometimes I'm sure, those of you listening may feel like, well, this is pretty damn uncomfortable. Oh, I said damn, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You can say that on the air.
It can be very uncomfortable sometimes because we're pressing against our egos. Maybe we're trying to be more in love, but there's that darn ego that keeps reminding us that we're human. And gee, I get angry sometimes and I can't feel the love. But signature cell healing is the practice that will help us get through that and evolve ourselves, heal ourselves, and evolve our soul into the next dimension. So I'll take a breath there. That's what I want to say about signature cell healing.
You're talking about aging the soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that really is our purpose for being here. I mean, bottom line, we come here to do all these amazing experiences that people are going, experience? Being poor, is that experience? Or, is this lousy relationship I have, is that an experience? Yeah, that's kind of really what we put in our blueprints, because because these are 3rd dimensional process.
Well, the way I look at it, Karinna, is like a Santa Claus list. I wrote everything like for Christmas, right, to Santa Claus before we were born, right? And I wrote, I want to experience to have 2 marriages. I want to experience this. I don't want children in this lifetime, and we really do write everything in that we experience.
Right.
The people that we have our life partners and, and our husbands and wives and this and that, whatever you want to call them, right? And we wrote that all in, and I'm going, I chose that first husband. Are you kidding me? Did I really write that in?
Or, sometimes we have friends, in our lives, or we have, like you say, partners, and you think, oh my God, I chose this. Yeah, because we can, right? Because it helps us to understand the reflection that other people present us in our lives. And really, there is no one else but the self I mean, there's nobody to blame out there. There's no enemy. There's no one to blame for the situation in our lives. It's about the self.
Right.
And so signature cell healing is a way for us to heal through the blueprint in love. So what signature cell healing does, it activates the blueprint, which is in the pineal gland in the signature cell. That's why it's called signature cell healing. And in that way, that pineal gland or the signature cell knows the perfection, right, of why we came here. And so it's sending light into all the 70 trillion cells in our body, enlightening, activating the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cells, and then activating the chromosomes of youth and vitality. And you start to heal kind of backwards from the physical to the emotional, mental, and spiritual. So if you've got an illness, let's say somebody's listening, they've got cancer, or they've got some kind of diabetes or something like that is an illness that you're experiencing in this lifetime. You don't have to go all the way through to death or to, experience this all the way. You can use signature cell healing to heal what you've got in the blueprint. So you go down into the cells, or the healer, or you do it with yourself, because it's about healing the self and then learning how to heal others, right?
Right.
And then that energy comes out and begins to vibrate in your emotional body. So the emotional body is so important that we can feel what's happening to us and really experience it, and then think about it. It goes to the mental body. What are the processes that I'm going through? Why do I have this diabetes? And then you kick it back up to the spiritual body and you can heal it. And that's what Kahu Fred Sterling has always said, everything can be healed.
And, I believe that there's a lot of things that I thought I healed. And then, as a lot of people are aware, I'm going through this transformation, and I found a bunch of stuff I hadn't healed. And all of a sudden I had pain in my hip. Now, what the heck? Someone laid the bathroom, right? Called everybody in and untwisted nerves and everything that were pinched. But it was an emotional problem that hit the physical, and that hits the spiritual and mental, all of that, right? But I think it's really important that you learn to heal yourself first before you work on anybody. You have to.
Right.
And that's my opinion.
See, now you brought up a really good point, because in the beginning, signature cell healing was really focused. Of course, we were healing ourselves because we knew about the 10 principles of consciously creating. We knew about the goddess light. We knew about love as a force of healing. But the techniques weren't specifically focused on healing the self. So for a number of years, we were receiving healing. So when I first started working at the Honolulu Church of Light in the late 1990s,
wow.
We had an agreement with everybody on staff that we would give and receive a signature cell healing every week. We would practice the 10 principles of consciously creating in our lives. We would use the Lemurian numerology that we learned. And, there was different things in this agreement, but we were giving and receiving healings every week. So that was how we were healing. But now there are techniques that people can learn, because people used to ask when we were going out on the workshops, can I do this on myself? And it was a little inconvenient, because those were healing techniques that are kind of done on a table or in a chair on someone else.
Right.
So Kahu has taken the signature cell healing now since 2016, 17. He's taken it to a new evolution so that we can heal ourselves and learn how to heal others. And, it's a more of a progressive thing now, so we can heal ourselves first.
Well, I'm going to say something, and I usually don't talk about this on the air, but I'm going to go ahead. Nothing can be any worse that happened to us trying to get on the air every time. So I'm trying to quit smoking.
Oh, yeah.
I know, when I heard it can take away bad patterns, right? Addictions, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I need to lose weight. And I don't want to gain weight by stopping smoking, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I know that doing the 5-breath self-healing meditation, prana breathing, and bringing in those golden particles as deep as I can, is actually helping so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I take a vitamin that I have, and that gives me energy, but it's taking away that edge and that of wanting it so badly.
Yeah.
So instead of a pack a day, now the pack has lasted me, I got up to 4 days now.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, and this is starting. You know, I just started a couple weeks ago. I was like, okay, now I can do this, and I was happy with 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now I hit 4 days, and it's like, okay, you know, I just can't be like Kahu, and I wish I could. And, you know, throw them in the garbage years ago.
Oh, that's what I did.
Yeah, and I wish I could.
Unfortunately, my husband did that with me many years ago, and it's helpful when you
I mean,
do
that's
it together
great.
with somebody.
That's great. But with me, you know, I know I'll go buy another. I would go buy another one after a few hours.
Okay, so what is that all about? Because signature cell healing, when you do the 5 breaths
So this
meditation,
it's an emotional issue, is why I smoke.
right?
And so, but I'm not going to bring that out on the air what it is. But I did find out what it's from, and now I'm working on it.
Well, when I was smoking, and what I realized about that, and this is just me, was, and when we're healing the self, it's about loving ourselves, right?
Right.
And about finding new ways to love ourselves. And so the signature cell healing is about love. And how do I love myself enough to not do things that are harmful to my physical body, or lock me into something like addiction, or something like that, right?
It can be food, anything.
And it's a tough addiction, nicotine. It really is. It's a tough one.
But I'm finding it easier. So, like I said, with
right. So one time, long time ago, there was a fellow. And this is like, I'm going to talk about way back in the 90s when we were just learning about signature cell healing and what does healing mean? What does it mean to heal yourself? And somebody who had this and I've had really bad rashes too, and he went to Master Guide Kirill, and he said, look, I got this rash and I really want to heal it. What do I do? And Mr. Kirill said, you need to love yourself. Right. And the guy was so shocked. He goes, how can a rash be me loving myself? But when you do the 5 breath self-healing meditation, and when you're doing the signature cell healing techniques, you're gonna know, it's gonna come to you. You're gonna feel in your heart, okay, this is what I need to do to love myself, so that rash will eventually go away, and heal through it. So it's the same. I feel like for me, it was the same thing in smoking. Right. I said to myself, okay, I feel this is just, I do the smoking when I'm trying to hurt myself. Because I used to be quite an athlete when I was younger. And if I smoked, I knew it was detrimental. But I was in a phase where I really didn't feel very good about myself, and I wanted to hurt myself. So when I got past that, and I could say, okay, I love myself. I don't want to do this anymore to myself. I was able to let it go. I was able to let it go. So I mean, just take it farther down the road for anybody that might be listening. Those are things that we kind of do voluntarily. But what about somebody who's got cancer, or something they say, oh, I didn't choose this. But when we look at the cancer journey, because my mother had cancer, and it wasn't the reason she passed away. She passed away from congestive heart failure later, but she did have cancer that just came out of nowhere. And I've talked about it before on the signaturecellhealing.com website. And in I believe it's 2014. She was diagnosed with the cancer, with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I said, she just looked at me, and she was so in shock. And she said, I have cancer, and maybe this is the end of my journey. And my mom never talked like that. She never said stuff like that. She wasn't really spiritual. But I thought, oh my God, I'm a signature cell healer. I said, look, Mom, we can do this journey together. And we did. I went to her appointments with her, and this oncologist that didn't really want to pay attention to her is there on his computer, and she in her 80s, she couldn't understand that. And we just started doing healings. And what she also did was she had edema. It was all really swollen in her legs, even though the cancer was more up towards her hip, and then up into her lymph nodes. And so she went to the healing services at the Honolulu Church of Light. That was very helpful because my mom is really was a love being. I mean, she was just totally radiating love. And when she went into these healing services, she was healing the people more than letting the people heal her. But eventually, over the course of about 2 years, we kept doing the healings, and she wasn't getting chemo. She was getting a thing called Rituximab, which, because they said she was so much older, she couldn't handle the chemo. Right. So this was something different, an antibody. But all of a sudden, we went back to the doctor, and the doctor, he didn't know what to do. He just said, look, the cancer is gone. I don't know what you're doing, but just keep doing it because the cancer's gone. And that's all he could say, because it's out of his reality, right?
Right.
People don't understand how that's possible, but I tell you how it's possible, because my mom started changing. She started loving herself more. She was in a very dire emotional state because she and my dad had to sell their home and in the crash of 2008. And had to move into a retirement home. And they had been in that home for 44 years.
Oh,
and It was beautiful, a beautiful home. And she didn't understand. She didn't know anything about finances or anything. She just knew she had to leave her home. And she was just distraught. And that in the emotional body kicked off that cancer in her physical body. So her mental body locked down on this stress and this idea like, oh my God, I'm leaving my home. And then boom, into the emotional body, it pressed down on the physical, and there's the blueprint that she came in with. Now, who else gained from this whole experience? It was me, her daughter.
Right.
Because I learned to love her in a all new way. And our relationship just became so beautiful, because for most of my life, I didn't get along with my mom at all. We're totally different. I really didn't get along with my mom. And then all of a sudden, there I am, the kind of like a caregiver for my mom and my dad as they got older. And I was really, in the beginning, frustrated with that, because I was thinking, why me? I got all this other stuff I got to do. But because I took 3 or 4 years out of my life to heal with them through their elder years and to their death and their transition right into the light. Right. I learned so much about healing. They gifted me those years.
And think about those years you had with them. And you were able to enjoy that because you were able to extend their lives for that time that you could learn, along with getting to have that closure with them through signature cell healing.
Right. And so if you have cancer, if you're going through a cancer journey, or someone in your family has cancer, look at the possibilities of healing that brings up for everyone. And right. Even if healing with them into their transition time, there is great emotional healing that comes from that. And it can be heart-wrenching, right? But what it was for me, it was heart-wrenching, yeah. And it really, especially with my father, because my father and I had a lot in common, or at least I used to think we did. We were a lot alike. But going through those years, because he was so vibrant, he was such a sharp guy, and he was mentally strong until the very last minute of his life, but his physical was just falling apart. That just was just heart-wrenching for me, but I stayed with him and healed with him to the very end. And for me, that made me a better healer, but it also made me a better human, a better goddess. Right. And it helped me to heal through layers of my blueprint that I didn't even know were there. Mm-hmm. So we don't know why the cancer is coming up, or we don't know why this person got sick, but if we're engaged with that person, there's healing in it for ourselves as well.
You know, on page 29, is it 29 yet? 28, sorry. The journey from fear to love. So either you have fear or you have love. There's nothing in between. And once you accept that love and you bring it into your life and into the heart, the beater part of your heart right here, sorry, the beater part of your heart, you know, it takes away that fear. And then illnesses cannot come out.
Right.
Unless the more love that you put in yourself, it just radiates out also to other people.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know, like a lot, I used to go, okay, so my thyroid's not working. Well, we know it's working a little bit now, right? Which is great. But it's like, I love myself enough to know it's working.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You know,
yeah, you want to have a mastermind or intention for your healing process.
So a mastermind is two, right? And I'm just doing it with me. So it's like, I love myself enough to know that this signature cell healing and the 5 breath self-healing meditation is working. And if you keep that in your mind every day, everything will be fine.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about this fear to love, because I have an evolved part of that. So the fear to love is really the 3rd dimensional journey, right? The fear to love is the duality that says, okay, if I have a good day, I better watch out tomorrow because it's coming at me. You know, there's that balance, right? Or how about that virus that's going bonkers, you know, wherever, you know, there's a real fear journey for you, you know, and when we focus on that, fear, the way we are now, moving from 3rd to 4th dimension, it gets legs. I mean, the fear really gets legs. So if we can stay in the love aspect of that and the knowing, like you said, in Brie, in our hearts, that I'm in love, we're going to move from love into light. So 3rd dimension, fear to love, and the 4th dimension is love into light, because in the 4th dimension, there is no longer a fear to love journey. There's only a journey of love and light. And the 4th dimension, just like in the Lemurian numerology, is a 4-bodied experience. So when we're balanced on all 4 bodies, you're going to move from love to light, and fear won't even be a process that you have any longer.
So I want to ask something. So I've had people ask me about the virus and this and that, right? I said, I'm not afraid of it. So why even worry about it?
Well, I think, you know, there's a way.
I don't fear it, because the minute you start fearing things, it's going to happen.
So well, right. You're going to attract that type of thing. So instead of saying, you know, just for me, what I'm doing is I like to take care of myself. I got that nurturing thing going, and I like to turn it on myself. And I like to make sure that I'm getting what I know are my vitamins or my exercise, or, you know, I go out and take a walk or something. You know, I do the things that keep me healthy physically. And then I'm not afraid about getting ill. But when I do feel like, we were talking about splinters before, right? So splinters are higher vibrating aspects of your higher self coming into you as you start to evolve in your spiritual journey, right? I mean, you're going to get them all the time when you're evolving, right? But sometimes they're more powerful than others, and they can really knock you down, and you think, oh, I've got a flu or I've got the cold. But really, if you start to look at it as, okay, this is an opportunity for me to rest, and take it easy and let that new energy come in, you're going to be okay. Don't fight it. A lot of people are
evolving right now. And I've talked to a couple today, and they're saying, we have a cold, I can't talk, or this or that, right? And you can hear the cold and this and that. And some of our friends of mine, some of my clients, I looked at them, I said, oh, you got a splinter like I've had. This is what you need to do. Love yourself. You know, and love that, and just embrace it with love, and just go to bed, drink some hot tea, love yourself enough to take care of yourself. And so when you start feeling better, do something the day you're feeling better, do something to make you happy.
Yeah. And you know what, if you're interested, like for me, last night it's unusual, but usually I sleep pretty well. But last night I really had a lot of trouble sleeping. And I was lying there thinking, was it something I ate, or, you know, what is going on? This is kind of weird. And so I got up early. I usually get up pretty early to meditate. I mean, like 4:30, 5 o'clock. But I got up even earlier this time because I'm thinking, why am I lying here? So I'm lying there and I'm going in to meditate. And all of a sudden I feel this coming at my forehead on my left side, you know, and I'm thinking, my goodness, if that isn't a splinter coming in now. And here's what you can do. And this is kind of fun.
That bee sting.
Send your awareness out towards it, you know, and just kind of say, you know, hi, you know, what is your purpose here? What are you doing here? And then just kind of open up the energy and let it come in and breathe it in and whatever. And you might get some interesting interaction with yourself there.
Right. Because when the splinter comes in, you're opening up, your higher self knows that you're ready to receive this information now.
Yeah. The higher self thinks you are, but sometimes maybe, like, we've had people when I was at working at the Honolulu Church of Light, there was one particular person who asked, do I have to have this splinter? Can I reject it? And I was like, wow, why would you want to? You know,
right.
But I think if it's really tough, you might want to, right?
Right. No, I think this is great. I mean, you know, the thing about it is, I'm looking at the book here, and there's a lot.
Book.
So
hold up,
I'll
hold it.
I'm going to take the plastic off so it doesn't.
So you printed out the ebook. There's an ebook that's available on signaturecellhealing.com.
Right. So here's the
printed
book,
it out. Wow, that's awesome, because that's a working copy.
I mean, look, this is a big copy, and so I've been reading this, and Teresa's been reading it to get ready for the class, right?
Awesome. And yeah, that is the textbook for our level 1.
Mm-hmm. So for level 1 and 2, that's coming here on May of 2020. So the one I want to put a plug in for you right now, guys, register.
It's ready
special, because that's only going to last what we're in. Okay, so we're in February 21st. It's only going to last for how much longer now, Karinna?
The early bird is, let's see, I wrote that down. The early bird is only until April 8th and April 15th for the level 2.
So get on, I want to tell everybody to get on signaturecellhealing.com and get up there and register for this
and
class.
You'll see it.
You're not going to be disappointed. So here's some of the things that I want to tell you guys that Teresa and I are offering. Is we're just the host. We're not the teacher of this. I want you to know that. I'm taking the class just like everybody else. And Teresa,
we're looking forward to that.
So with this, now how much is the early bird special for the?
Let's see, the early bird, I think, let me just pop over there really quickly. Right here.
We're so much fun together. Let me tell you, I can't wait to
pop over here. It's going to show me. Okay. The early bird is with the tax is $275.
Okay. So $275 for 3 days. So you come in on a Friday night and we're going to learn what?
Okay. The Friday night is kind of fun because we start to create the collective consciousness of love that's going to take us through this magical weekend.
Okay.
And it is a really special opportunity. And I felt this way. I've been to over 50 of Kahu's workshops over the years. Wow. And I thought everyone was very special because it's the people that make it special, that come in and create this beautiful collective consciousness of love and healing that allows people to learn and to experience on a deeper level, because there's trust that comes forth when you have that kind of a situation, right? So the first night we're gonna learn about the 5 breath self-healing meditation. And I wanted to say that the book that Brie showed you, the ebook, is available, and there's the self-healing, the student resource bundle that we use that's included in your level 1 registration. That's available to anyone. Even if you're not going to the workshop, you can still get the bundle. It's available as a product on the website. Right. And it's like a subscription, because there are videos in it. There's a video meditation that Kahu leads you through, and we learned that in the level 1.
Wonderful.
Yes, I love that. And then there's a video of the 5 breath self-healing meditation. So, I mean, there's stuff up there already.
Who's leading Brie through that on there? Whose voice is on there?
Oh, my voice. I did the voiceover, and Kahu did the hands, and it's animated. It's so cool.
So cool.
Yeah,
so between the two, you have Kahu's voice on one, and then his animations and stuff. But when you're really in the 5 breath meditation, you're closed and you put your right hand here and this hand here, and you have Karinna going and leading you through it. And we just did it before we came on. And then all of a sudden we have all these technical difficulties, maybe too much energy, right? But
I would go through it. I don't know how much time we have, but
let's do one point. Let's just do one point.
Let's just do one at each place.
So
okay.
you can see that.
Okay, so everybody get comfortable. And you're gonna imagine the golden particles over your crown chakra. And then the way you breathe is you're gonna breathe in through your nose, and then imagine drawing the golden particles through your crown chakra, just like a dolphin breath. And then they go through the pineal gland, and when they come out, they're turning into white light. And you're still inhaling, and you draw it down into your heart chakra. And at that point, you've got an energy of all 4 bodies. So you weave the 4 bodies together, you lock it there to weave it. And then on the exhale, through your mouth, the white light goes up to your shoulders, through your arms, and out your palms. Okay, so that's how you breathe.
They get warm, guys.
Yeah, they get warm. Okay, so put your right palm on top of your crown chakra, and then the left palm on top. Take one of those breaths in and lock it. And then now the light comes back around to your head, and just fill up your head with that healing white light. Right? And then after when you're ready, we normally do 5 at each placement. But this one, next, take your index and your middle finger and place them on your closed eyelids gently. And then breathe in like before and bring in the golden particles, change this to white light, lock it. And then it comes through your fingers and lights up the whole part of your eyes, all the way over the cones and the rods, back to the optic nerve, vagus nerve, and down through your body.
So I couldn't hold that one any longer.
Ordinarily that's five breaths there. So the next one is you put your hands like this. Here, I'm glad we have video so I can show it. So your palms, and then your thumbs pointing up towards your thyroid and your thymus. And then you breathe in like before, and then let the energy go through your heart. And then, since we're taking one breath, just let your whole chest area just light up with white light, and let it go into the cells, and let the mitochondria start to activate and vibrate and awaken the chromosomes of youth and vitality. And then the next placement is at your 3rd chakra, right at your stomach. So you breathe in like before, you lock it, exhale through your stomach, and just light up all the organs in your abdomen. And just feel that healing white light. I'm talking about pancreas and liver and gallbladder, back to the kidneys. And then the 5th hand placement is down at your 2nd chakra. So right above, like Kahu likes to say, above the pubic symphysis. And then you breathe in and then light up this whole 2nd chakra area where we've got reproductive organs, the bladder, our digestive tract. It just light up this whole area. And we recommend doing this. Brie and I recommend doing this 2 to 3 times a day. And
the big guy has told me 3. So we're going to go.
Okay, so we'll say 3. But even if you're not doing it yet, if you could just start with once a day and move into twice a day, you're going to feel a difference. And
because I don't mean to interrupt you. I got to tell you something funny. So this morning I'm letting my dogs outside, right? And my one dog he's a puppy. And he likes to pounce on the little tiny dog, and the 140-pound puppy wants to pounce on the 15-pound puppy. So I have to watch him. It's funny. But anyway, so I'm out there and, I'm out in my yard and I just do one. And you can just do it one at a time to get you started for the day or before you start your car or whatever.
Definitely before you start your car.
Oh, yeah.
That's what my journey.
Like me, when I'm driving, I'll leave my body and all of a sudden I catch myself back. But now
you don't want to do that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Want to be present.
But now that I started doing that, I'm not leaving my body when I'm driving now.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the healing, of the 5 breath self-healing meditation.
So one thing I want to ask is, I'm not.
Are we able to get anybody coming on for questions?
I'm not getting nothing, so I can't see nothing on what's going on. Teresa's watching everything, so she's letting me know if anybody has any questions. But we're just keep going because it's Friday night, and I can tell you it's 2/21/2020. So by the Lemurian numerology, it's a 9.
Oh yes.
So
in the Lemurian numerology. Completions and new beginnings.
That's right. So this is what today is about. So I have a question.
Sure.
Why is it so important that people learn this technique, even if they don't want to use it for as a teacher, or they don't want a practitioner? They just want to take it for themselves only.
Right. And that's a beautiful reason to take the level 1. Because it's about healing the self and aging the soul. And you're going to learn the techniques to do in this level 1 that will help you heal yourself. So if you're interested in self-healing, and even if you want to, help your husband or your wife or your children or something, you're going to learn techniques and create an awareness of healing that will help you heal yourself. So that's why the level 1 is very, and you don't have to know anything about energetic healing.
That's what I like about this.
You don't have to know that. And I tell you, that's where I came from, right? Because, people have heard I used to be a Methodist and my parents were just kind of normal Methodist people. And then I found the Honolulu Church of Light, and everybody was so far ahead of me. They were so advanced, and I had to learn all this spirituality. But see, so I came to healing without knowing anything about, what is energy. So that's the way I want to start our level 1. And
even for really important.
Even for people that know other healing modalities, you're still going to find something in the level 1.
Well, the one thing is, I've been a healer for a long time.
Yes.
And I'm putting all my other healing modalities away, like out of the mind. And I'm coming in as a student that doesn't know nothing on purpose. And you can do that with yourself. Ignore what you've been taught to learn something new. And then you can combine this with other healing modalities.
Right. And that's a good thing. I'm really glad you mentioned that, Brie, because it's always been that way. Even when Kahu was teaching the workshops, is that we always tell people at the beginning of the workshop, well, if you're doing another healing modality, or you have, whatever kind of thing that you feel is your big healing thing, you leave that outside. You could talk to people during the break or whatever, but for the weekend, we create
at home.
Well, we create a collective consciousness of signature self-healing.
Right.
So everybody's focused on that for the weekend. Right. And then afterwards, you're right, signature cell healing does combine really well with other healing modalities. And also, I know a lot of massage therapists that use signature cell healing as an opening technique.
But I got to say something here. A lot of people think Lemurian healing is a fluffy, duffy thing.
Oh,
I want them to know it is not. It's like putting your hands in the mud and doing the hard work.
Well, I don't know,
that's the way I have to explain it sometimes with people.
Interesting, because signature cell healing, in the beginning, it was really different in the early times when Kahu was just bringing the modality together. But signature cell healing has a lot of really awesome techniques,
right?
That you can use, like releasing the free radicals. I like to use that one on people after clients after they've been traveling, or you know, you get that free radicals and stuff, and you just feel so good after that. So there's a lot of, it really is technique based, which is nice.
And that's what I mean by getting in the mud. It's technique based with your hands. And
yeah, it's a hands-on healing modality, and it's a 4-body healing modality. So you're going to be balancing the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. And you'll know, okay, well, if this person has this, you're gonna be open, because you're in that healing light and that self-love that you're in when you're a healer. The cells of your client or your own selves are going to start talking to you. You're going to get ideas or thoughts, but it's really the cells that have the wisdom and the love to say, okay, try this now, or do this now. So you will be amazed at how intuitive you become. And that's really a big part of the level 2 workshop, is developing your intuition.
Right.
So yeah, it's a really special healing modality. And I hope it,
right. So it's not like I want people to think that you know, it's a hard thing to learn, because it's not, but it's not fluffy duffy.
I think what people, what really benefits people is the practice.
Right.
So because we have level 1, level 2, and later we'll have level 3 for practitioners. This is level 1 and level 2. Level 2 is advanced techniques that we can use on each other, that you could use on your family, your friends. And then level 3 is for if you want to open a practice. Right. And there we give you some ideas about, you know, how you can set up your business and things like that. But we're teaching you different techniques that you can use and call upon when you feel like, you know, I'm really not sure what to do. And in beginning, when I was healing too, I didn't know what to do. But if I just got in that mindset or opened my heart and started to feel, okay, what does this person need? What are the cells asking for? Right. Then I would know what to do, and I would follow my heart, basically, and help that person.
So I'm looking at the book, and there's a opening sequence, and it's the finger Trinity formation.
The Trinity touch formation.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at different things.
Yeah, and that's very useful.
It's like, you know, the healing space, and the space, that meditation everybody needs to do.
Yeah, well, okay, so
let's call it. He's got me stuck calling that, by the way.
It's called the Sanctuary of Inspiration. And safe space is what Kahu will usually call it. I mean, that's our moniker for it, right? But it's called the Sanctuary, and you can find it on the website, right? It's a video with a map, meditation map. So you can subscribe to that, or you can get the self-healing bundle, right? Which has a lot more things in it, downloadable things, and 2 subscription videos in there. But you can also get the Sanctuary of Inspiration on its own. And then Kahu teaches you, this is just the most useful beginning meditation. And I still use it today. I still use it to start my meditations now. Right. Yeah, it's great. Do you like that one?
I like that one.
Yeah.
The healing room.
Yeah, the healing room. It has a healing room.
So the one thing I like in this book, on page 108, it talks about all the healing equipment you're going to need. And it's real simple. It's stuff we have every day. I like it all the way to liquid hand cleanser.
Yeah, so I mean that's the kind of
soft music, relaxing music playing, you know, paper and pen for consultation notes or whatever. You know, this book is really informative and is simple, but yet, it shows a bathtub on page 111. Very well known for the bathtub.
I had forgotten about that.
But it talks about assisting, because water's a conduit, and it's talking about that, taking the bath, using it and the steps if needed, and it takes you through the processes, and that's what you're going to be doing with all of us.
Yeah, I think people will learn, you know, what is this Lemurian healing modality all about? Because there's a wealth of Lemurian wisdom. And I was talking to Brie earlier, and we were talking about that signature cell healing is more than a healing modality. It really is a way of life.
Yes.
So when you get up in the morning and you look at your clock and it has I don't know, 4:45, you know, and you add up the number and it's a 4, you know. So when you start looking at the clock and you're using the Lemurian numerology, it's becoming a way of life, right? And then when you look at things in love, when something happens to you, and then you think, okay, well, you know, how is this about me? And, you know, how can I heal this? And I've got this ache and pain. Well, I think I'll just do Trinity tapping around it. You know, maybe, you know, that's going to help. Or I tap my lymphatic system, you know, like we do in the level 1. You know, there.
You know, it's a lot different than the EFT tapping. I want people to know that this is a lot different than EFT tapping.
Right. So we talk about, you know, using the Trinity tapping and hand placement. So you're going to learn all about that, even if you don't know anything about that, or maybe you do. Maybe you learn something that's a little bit different from what you know. Well, but what's really important is it's the healing modality for the great shift in consciousness.
Right. So I just found something else I like that I want to talk about. I'm finding all sorts of stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay, I better wrap it up, guys.
Okay, well, we can't take any questions, huh? Or
no questions have come in, Karinna. Teresa's watching them for us.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
thanks,
here's
Teresa.
Yeah, it's Friday night. We talk about spirituality. Other people might be out to dinner, but that's okay. In Washington, it's 7 o'clock. The thing is, like, I want to talk about these 2 things, and then I'll let you go.
Sure.
In weaving the left and right hemispheres of the local brain.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so we have what we're looking at there are the right and the left hemispheres of the brain. So the right hemisphere is the left hemisphere is really what we use to navigate through our 3rd dimensional world, really. I mean, it's, you know what to do to get the right result. You know, it's a linear kind of thinking process. I mean, I've been a left brainer my whole life, you know. And then the right brain is more conceptual and has a more free thinking kind of process. So, you know, some people are more right brain than they are left brain, but what we need is balance. Right. So it's because we're moving beyond duality. And so by weaving, there's a technique in the opening sequence where we're weaving the energy, or it's a completion sequence. It's weaving the energy of the left and the right brain that allows us to feel that balance. So I'm telling you, when you're receiving that as a Healy, oh boy, it's pretty great.
I can't wait. You know,
that's wonderful. And that's the good news. You get to receive healing in the workshop.
I'm really excited about that. Karinna, balance this head. Okay.
And we've got a lot of time for practice. So we've expanded it. So we have plenty of time to practice the techniques.
Yeah, I'm coming up with some ideas, and we'll put them up. But I think you're going to be here long enough, or maybe we can get a couple of days in there where we can get together, people that have come to a workshop for level 1 and 2, and get together somewhere and practice on each other. I think
right.
So the last question I have, weaving the omni brain consciousness with the local brain.
Okay, so the brain, Master Guy Kirill always says, you know, it's a 4-body healing experience, right? So you've got the physical, the emotional, the mental body, but the mental body really has 2 parts to it. It has your local brain, which is the brain, the right and the left brain, right? We were just talking about that. And the local brain is the 10%, which is like just a figure that we use. I'm sure we're using a little bit more, or maybe some people less. You know, 10% of our total brain capacity. That's what we're calling the local brain, right? The local brain. And then the omni consciousness is the rest of it. So the 80 to 90% that we can't see, but it's still us.
Right.
And it's connected into our higher selves and into the whole weave of consciousness that surrounds the planet. So by weaving those together, you are expanding your consciousness and you can feel so smart all of a sudden, you know, these things are going to come into your head that you're thinking, wow,
Oh gosh,
how do I
I'm
know
gonna
that?
remember how to write again after my stroke. I'll know how to write now again and not
Yeah.
have to have an editor.
Yeah. So you could say, oh, I'm not smart, I'm just intuitive, you know, or I'm just hooked into my omni consciousness.
I know.
Yeah, so that's what that is about. And there's a part of our sequences that help us, you know, open up that connection. There's great stuff in signature cell healing.
There really is. There's something that Kahu wrote here. In the all, that is, a true miracle is always a breath away from the beginning dispute into the non-believer. Anyone can wish for a miracle, but only when you recognize the miracle does it become a part of your journey. And in that, all is perfect. And that's what I'd like to close with.
That's beautiful. The miracles are there. We just got to recognize them. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Karinna.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to May. You guys
me too.
register. You're gonna love it. You're gonna.
I'm gonna love Tacoma. I can't wait.
You know, the big guy MK himself said that he walked around Tacoma.
Oh, very good. Oh, I love to hear that.
I love calling him the big guy, right? And I'm sure he's listening right now anyway, going, "Oh, Brie." You know? But he said he really liked it here, and that's a good compliment from Master Guy Carol.
Sure is.
Like the area.
Yeah,
so,
I think.
You know, I've worked with him for a long time.
That mountain you got there is pretty special too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I wish they wouldn't have never changed the name and left it Mount Tahoma like it
Well, we're going to call it Mount Tahoma.
We are. All right. So sign up. Oh, by the way, lunch is included in on Saturday and Sunday.
Thanks to our host.
Thank you, Teresa, and making sure that that's all being done. And any questions that I can't answer, I will refer you to signaturecell.healing.com.
Right.
So and there's a lot of things on there that answer a lot of questions because I'm new. I've never taken this before. And I've done ancient Lemurian healing from my memories. Now this, I am so excited because I'm finally going to know it all.
Yay.
And then I'm going to take, when we get ready, then we'll bring 3. That's going to be great.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Karinna. And thank you so much for being here. You're a wonderful goddess.
You can all email me at events@signaturecellhealing.com if you have any questions about the workshops.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, also, you can go just to drbriegibbs.com and write in the comment sections, or you can Facebook me or whatever. And I will give you the answers that you need. And if I don't have them, Karinna will have them.
Yeah, thanks so much to you and Teresa for being our host in Tacoma.
Oh, we're excited.
Yeah, me too.
I waited a long time for this, so and you know that. I'm a little passionate.
Well, I wish everyone a great Aloha Friday, which we have Aloha Friday here, and a wonderful weekend.
And same to you. All right, Goddess blessings. I love everyone.
Aloha.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.